How corrupt was Nero's Rome? Have you ever wondered how corruption shaped the reign of Emperor Nero in ancient Rome? Let's take a closer look at the complexities of his rule and the role of the Roman Senate. Nero's reign from AD 54 to AD 68 is often remembered for its corruption, particularly within provincial administration. At the top, Nero himself was known for his personal indulgences and cruelty, which overshadowed his governance. Early on, he made some reforms that seemed to reduce abuses. For instance, he granted the Senate more independence and banned secret trials before the emperor. He even reduced certain taxes and allowed slaves to voice complaints against unjust masters. These actions hinted at a desire to curb corruption and injustice in Rome. However, as his rule progressed, Nero's excesses became more pronounced. He is infamous for the brutal persecution of Christians, the murder of his own mother, and the use of imperial power for personal gain. This shift marked a departure from his earlier attempts at reform. Looking at the provincial level, corruption was rampant among Nero's governors, known as Procurators. Many of these officials were either corrupt or incompetent. For example, in Judea, governors like Felix and Gessius Florus became notorious for their misrule and exploitation of the local population. Trials for provincial corruption were common in the early years of Nero's reign, but some accused officials were acquitted, suggesting a system where corruption was widespread yet often unpunished. The Great Fire of AD 60 brought further challenges. As Rome rebuilt, Nero devalued the currency and imposed heavy taxes, especially on the provinces. This financial strain increased the burden on provincial subjects and likely worsened corrupt practices as officials sought to extract more wealth to fund reconstruction and Nero's lavish palace, the Domus Aurea. Despite the corruption, there were signs of evolving relationships between governors and provincial elites. Attempts were made to regulate and formalize expressions of approval for governors' administration. This indicates a more nuanced political environment rather than outright chaos. In summary, Nero's Rome was marked by a mix of personal excess and cruelty from the emperor, widespread corruption among provincial officials, and financial exploitation of the provinces. While Nero initially showed signs of reform, his reign ultimately became synonymous with corruption, mismanagement, and moral decline, reflecting the challenges of governing a vast empire with competing interests and limited oversight.